Hey guys, I'm Kent and welcome back to my channel. So today I've got what I think will be the final piece to the airflow across this bike. So just a quick recap, I already have the exhaust system. My head I have ported. Here's a close-up of some of the port work that was done at Riderzblok, both on the intake as well as the exhaust port. It's all sooty now, so you can't really see the porting, but the porting both for the intake and the exhaust portions look really good. And then in some previous videos I've shown that I'm running the Chimera intake, and now I'm trying out the Dinger-built intake. But the one thing that has been stock has been the intake manifold and the throttle body. So I reached out to Cameron Jones Racing and they sent me their 27mm ported manifold and throttle body. So you can see here the nice porting as well as the throttle body. So my understanding is the only difference in this is that you do lose the functionality of that high RPM idle. Sometimes you'll hear a click, some relay turns on, and then it starts idling a little higher. That doesn't seem to be something that I've ever really needed, and also it's something that I think we can tune out inside of the A-Racer to make sure that the idle works the way that it needs to. Let me pull off the stock manifold and throttle body so that we can look at these side by side. So my intake manifold is already removed from the head, and I don't have the intake on, so it's just really being supported by the fuel line and then these various wires that have sensors attached. So I'm just going to pop off all of the different sensors. It looks like most of these sensors I'll have to transfer over to the new throttle body, but let me just get it all disconnected first. All right, so I have the stock one off here. You can see the difference in the porting of the throttle body. This is the inlet that comes off of the intake, and you can see the considerable size difference. Get them both in frame here in the porting that they do their CJRs. And then on the intake manifold, this one being the stock, and then this one being the one from CJR. If I can get them to line up so that you can see how much bigger the porting ends up opening up that intake manifold. And then CJR also provides a new, I think it's like a thermal spacer, but that is ported out to match their manifold. So it's not too much material that they took off, and it's also somewhat tapered, but probably difficult for the camera to be able to tell the difference. You can see inside here though some of the material that they've taken away because it's a slightly different color where they've sanded down the plastic. So back to the head that I had previously had ported at Riderzblok. When I matched up the plate that was provided by CJR, it was actually very close. There was a slight lip, maybe a 1/2 millimeter or less around the edge that I just used a Dremel to lightly take off just so that there was no interruption in the flow. And now when you have this properly seated over it, it's a perfectly clean connection all the way through. So I actually received this a week or two ago, and I've just been backed up on other projects. Plus I wasn't able to put my head back on because I didn't have the head gasket. I actually wasn't able to find the stock head gasket anywhere. So I ended up ordering another copper one from Yamanashi, which had come with my 140cc big bore kit that I have on the bike right now. I was interested in trying out the stock one though, just because the Yamanashi one is quite a bit thicker. Let's see if the camera can show you the difference in thickness. This is almost twice as thick as the stock one. And because of that, I think I'm running a lot lower compression than what I could be if I was running the stock gasket. So I was hoping to be able to try it out on this swap. I'll eventually get this in and then get it back on the dyno to see how much the head gasket thickness makes a difference with the setup that I have now. But this should actually arrive in the next hour or two, so that'll allow me to finish buttoning up the head. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the intake manifold and throttle body parts switched over and set up so that once that gasket shows up here in just a bit, I can get this all buttoned up. On a closer look, it looks like there's no point in moving this top sensor over. I believe this top sensor is the solenoid to actuate the high RPM mode, which you lose on the 27mm throttle body setup. But if you look inside the space here where the solenoid goes, there isn't any port, and there's no port here either on the top like there is on the stock one. You can see the hole there that has some type of connection for either a pressure or a vacuum that actuates the solenoid. Again, since you're losing the functionality on the 27mm throttle body, I don't think there's any reason at all to move this top solenoid. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it off. And I'm not sure if this is just a difference in mine, but the cable hanger on the stock one is a lot shorter than the one that came on the CJR one. So I'm going to go ahead and swap these around. I tried to put this one on and I realized that the cables weren't fitting correctly. And it's because the stock one has a much lower one. So it's just a single screw to pull it off. I'm just going to make that quick swap and then get it on the bike. All right, got my gaskets. It's crazy how quickly things can get here from Thailand. I think this was exactly 2 days from the time that I ordered to the time that it just showed up here on my doorstep. So let me get the head back on, the intake manifold and the intake and the throttle body on the bike. While I was waiting for that package to arrive, I started to assemble this Harbor Freight motorcycle carrier that I picked up for the Grom. It's rated at 400 pounds, so it should be able to support the Grom no problem. I've actually used this one and a similar one that I borrowed from a friend back in Florida. I don't have that friend here with me, so I had to pick up one for myself, but I am hoping to take this bike to the track tomorrow, so if I can get the bike together and this hitch together, I think I'll be in good shape. Okay, so that was a hell of a day. I was able to get everything buttoned up and just in time because this morning I went to Apex Racing Center to track the Grom for the first time. I had an absolute blast. A big thank you to Adam for inviting me and then all the folks there that I met, particularly those that recognize me from the channel. I really appreciate that. But it was a lot of fun riding around. I've done it a couple of times before on a big bike. It was a little bit different on a Grom. I felt a little more fearless on the Grom, but since that Grom is so pretty, I think that was also holding me back a bit. Anyway, by the third session, I was getting a lot more confident and Adam was doing a great job letting me follow him so that I could find the racing line. And I was getting more and more confidence. I wasn't able to stay the whole day because I had some other commitments back here in San Diego, but next time I'll be sure to stay the whole day. The other thing is after that experience and enjoying it so much, I have a feeling I need to build a track Grom, one that I'm not so worried about it being pretty, but that has amazing suspension, power, and then being maybe kind of ugly so that I have a little less fear about damaging it and then maybe I get to use my whole tire. Anyway, that was a great time. I got back, took care of some other things, and then I headed up to Riderzblok to see how much power I was making from the Cameron Jones intake manifold and the throttle body that I installed in the bike. So first thing when I got to Riderzblok, Chaz spent some time redoing the auto tune and building a really good map. I talked about this in my A-Racer video, but he goes through the entire RPM and throttle range on the dyno, which is much easier than trying to do it on the street because you can be very methodical and perfectly dial in and tune the full map that the auto tune draws out as you're going through those ranges. So once he built that full map, we did some pulls on the dyno. Also tried to do some changes with the timing. That didn't seem to make any difference at all. Both small adjustments and pretty large adjustments. But in the end, that 15 horsepower still remains elusive for me. The throttle body and intake manifold did pick up power in certain areas. Most notably, it carried the power further down. So for an extra 500 RPM, it was keeping it at that 14.5 horsepower range, where before it was dying off about 500 RPM earlier. It also picked up close to a horsepower around the 6,000 to 7,000 RPM band. It did lose a little bit of horsepower much earlier in the RPM range, around 4,000 and 5,000. But I believe that's indicative of throttle body and intake manifold porting, that you lose a little bit on the very bottom end, but that you're gaining it on the top end. But the peak horsepower remained the same, about 14.5 horsepower. The one on the chart here I think shows 14.33. I think we may have pulled a little harder on one of them, but again, still under 14.5. I want to get to 15. I'm not exactly sure what that path is at this point. I know Takagawa, Kitako, and a few of the others are going to release their big bore kits that I may try out. And there'll be other things to test out too. But anyway, today was a very fun day. The entire day consumed with mini moto, but that's a great way to spend a Saturday if you ask me. Anyway, thank you everybody very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and keep on building.